The brutality of this is off the charts.
Disturbing on so many levels.
This is about my mom. This is about Carol Ryan.
September 1st, 1996. One of the most disturbing homicides took place in central New York history. Carol Ryan, 42, was a proud mother, a lover of music, an Eastwood resident with no enemies, but she was found naked and dying in Jamesville, New York. She had been beaten and left for dead. What she endured, it's worse than a horror movie.
She was raped. She was raped with an explosion.
27 years later, her killer is still out there.
There's somebody out there that could do something so terrible to another human being. It brings back a lot of bad memories.
My mother needs to be able to rest in peace.
We haven't given up, not by a long shot.
I don't think they've done anything. To be honest with you, I think they have botched this whole case right from the start.
There might be a sliver of a chance.
Again, I got nothing to say about this.
Did you do it? Did you kill her?
From Syracuse.com, this is Firecracker. Hear the podcast this fall on Wondery Plus.
What you say, Mello? You gotta look what you say, Mello.
We really had one of the greatest college basketball teams ever. The way we started was just like, man, we just gonna go ahead and have fun. Nobody believed in us. You know, 4 freshmen, it's like, it's impossible to win anything. Let's just go.
First time I saw him, he was playing in a JV game. Every time I went to see him, he just kept getting better and better.
If you know, anybody knows Jerry McNamara, he's the most competitive player on the planet.
Everybody wants to take him, but not everybody can make him. You know, Jerry McNamara, you know, he made him.
This might be the first time I've ever told a story.
You have to be good and you have to be lucky to win a national championship. I don't care what anybody says.
Our will to win was strong. We wanted to win. It's as simple as that.
These guys were so inexperienced in this whole journey. Everything was light. The locker room was light. The bus trips were light. The hotel room walkthroughs were just light and fun.
The second place team, nobody remembers.
And I'm just thinking like, damn, I could have ended it. I got to do something. I think that pretty much sealed the deal for us.
What'd you say, Hack D?
Hey, John, Charlie Trimble. See what we had to do? We just had to go out and show them.
I heard a bang when I got out, and then when I went inside, you could see everything was hazy, and I could see the coop engulfed, and I thought I could save the rest of them, because I could hear them. And I could only get Esther, and I opened her stall, and she wouldn't come out. So I ran back in to get her, and I had grabbed her by the horns. And I thought I was saving some other ones, but I was at the wrong stall because I couldn't see. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I feel this guilt. I see their faces. I hear their cries. I'm mad at myself for not opening the door in time. I'm mad at myself for not finding the right stall.
The goal is clear for Amir Cash Anderson of Syracuse, a sophomore at PSLA Fowler, the top-ranked boxer in the country for his weight class among 15 and 16-year-olds. Cash won the National Silver Gloves, the Eastern Regionals, the 154-pound Junior Male USA Boxing National Championship just last year, and he has his sights set on Paris in 2024.
Well, what's it going to take to get there?
I want it as bad as anybody out there, and I want to actually win. I don't want to go there. I want to win. I want to win gold. I want everybody to know that I'm going to be the first Olympiad out of Syracuse.
The street that leads to the rescue mission has attracted a growing congregation of needy people in recent months. This assault occurred on Dickerson at 8:30 in the morning on July 24th, just across from Salt City Market, as people were heading to work. Many of them struggle with mental health problems, drug addiction, or homelessness. Some wait for their next meal or a bed to sleep in, others poised to prey upon them. Rescue mission leaders say the crisis at their front door has only worsened in the last few months.
I have never seen as much open-air drug use and sales, and and it's like whether it's the spike or the fentanyl or whatever that's really hard to arrest for or prosecute for. That's what's happening, and I really feel for our law enforcement who there isn't a whole lot they can do about it either at this point in time.
So my name is Garrett Schrader, quarterback at Syracuse University, and I also like to fly.
When COVID hit, everything else was still open except for school was shut down. So it was a perfect opportunity to get started. And it worked out. I got my license in 3 months. It's like similar to playing guitar. When you actually know what you're doing, it's really not that hard, but it can be as complex. And there's a lot more to learn initially, but flying airplanes like flying a tractor. There's really 4 things that you need to know. Fuel, my magneto's on, do I have throttle? And then just steer. And then I guess landing's a little bit different story, but when you get out there and you're like the first time you solo, you're by yourself, it's like, dude, I'm flying a plane right now.
Story you've been tracking all day out of upstate New York.
The beatings have prompted questions about the church and its members.
People were just astonished that something like that could happen there.
It was my contention that it was a cult. Tiffany was the cult leader. She was convinced that Luke practiced witchcraft and that he would get into people's heads somehow or another.
You need to beat this out of them. You got to get rid of this demon.
They couldn't really get out of this building. They would chain the doors on the inside, so they were getting hurt and they were in pain.
It's trying to damage their genitalia to the point that they would never be able to use it in their life.
They believed that whatever happened to the boys, as bad as it was God's will.
When God judges, people die.
At the time, I believed that he did hear from God. He certainly made it convincing and believable that he did. I was 16, 17. I was looking for direction. I felt a great comfort. I thought, this is my ticket to happiness, that if I listened to what Jerry was telling me, because he was inspired by God, then I would be blessed.
He must be hearing from God to know that I'm evil in some way. When I first attended the church, I was about 10. At the largest, the group was probably between 70 and 80 people. I accepted that we really were trying to serve God the best that we could in that place and in that way. I was pretty well brainwashed and had this idea that people on the outside were out to get us. So we became very isolated, and our only lifeline, our only support would come from him.
How many even know there's things happening in this world that they won't tell you about, that you should know about?
And I learned that my father and Debbie were accused of killing Luke. It's like, that's not right. So I went to the police and I said, that can't be true. There's a lot more to this story.
Skinny Atlas Lake. It's one of the cleanest bodies of water in the country. It's a destination for afternoon tourists from throughout central New York and beyond. It's home to the area's rich and famous. And at the bottom of the lake, visible to anyone who's ever walked the village pier, sits the 100-year-old wreckage of one of the largest ships to ever set sail on Skinny Atlas.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
After I yelled at you, you picked it up. Are you going to be the kid that runs today after I yelled at you, or the kid that runs today before I yelled at you? Which one are you going to be?
The better one.
How's the knee?
So we set up training groups with the idea that we want like-kind fitness together, regardless of gender, boys and girls. That's why I keep talking about it. This is a co-ed program, and it's genderless in terms of training. I've got boys and girls in the same training groups. So the idea is not whether they're boys or girls, it's the idea is what is their fitness levels and can they stay together? And in that way, the boys and the girls help each other.
At Liverpool, there's over 60 wrestlers, but there's 4 that stand out that lead the way. There's the Iano twins, and then there's the Iano twins. Whoa, 2 sets of twins. You're gonna need power twin activation for this interview. I got this, Brent. Man.
Go.
So today is actually the first night of our Wednesday night racing league, and it'll actually lead up to our final race, which will be the Woodchuck Classic on August 22nd. So this is a downhill mountain bike dual slalom course, and what you have is you'll have 2 competitors riding against each other for the first person to cross the finish line.
Oh my God, that's close to 3 minutes.
I never really envisioned that it would be returned to the Onondaga Nation, to us. We've had a long history of things being taken away, and this is new to us, to have land come back. We have a special relationship with land. And growing up on the nation, as I did, I spent years on the creek swimming, families fishing. My children never had that opportunity because of the pollution in Onondaga Creek. The waters went brown and muddy. But as a child, as a teenager, those were special days of summer that we spent along the creek, which runs pretty quiet today.
Correct. Yeah, it's going down. Let's hold off and see. We started in about March when we saw our first cases here, and it was obviously very new to us and scary. And then it slowly picked up, and then summertime it mellowed out a little bit, so the staff had a break, and then come, September, October, it severely picked up here. So this is kind of all we've seen so far is COVID this year.
No, they said they're gonna do it, but just I don't know when.
Okay.
They said they'll call me back.
So you have the 2 orders of fentanyl, right? So give the one now, and then wait for the second one when you move it behind.
This time around, there's multiple people who are getting put on ventilators, having to be paralyzed, put on their stomach. We also have what's called ECMO. That is another form of when their lungs are completely not working anymore. It's a machine that takes over on top of the ventilator. Patients are a lot sicker this time around and are unfortunately staying in the ICU for longer as well. It seems like the disease process is taking a lot longer. It's hitting them harder and taking longer for them to recover. It is very hard, to be having to have conversations over the phone about difficult decisions and listening to family members be so upset, and we are here for them. We encourage them to call, and just even if they want to have the phone put up to the patient's ear so they can talk to them, we encourage that. We are here for them as much as we can be, and we ensure them that we're there with their family members every step of the way, holding their hand.
We have a lot of great data during the summer months when it's obviously a lot nicer than this. And we were really looking to get additional data on what these lakes are doing in the winter months. So there's not a ton of data out there. And we really wanted to see if the winter conditions, how the water quality changed in these lakes during the winter. Some of them are ice covered, like here in Otisco, and some of them stay open water for the whole winter. So we're interested to see through several times during the winter. This year we're doing December, February, and April, how those water quality changes happen and how we can compare it to the summer months.